Forecast, certified most accurate since 2004.
All right, without a doubt, temperatures today were well cooler than average and what was typical for late May here in Northeast Ohio. But there are some signals that we will have a very slow warming trend that takes us not only through the end of the holiday weekend, but also carries us through a good majority of this next week as well. But let's focus on the short-term forecast first. Headed into tomorrow, daytime highs are expected to sit right around the low to mid 60s. Mid 60s for areas that are able to pick up on just a little bit more sunshine through the day, though I do think a few more clouds will be in the mix as we continue on through your Sunday, just because we're working in that very isolated rain risk as we go through tomorrow afternoon, and winds are still going to be largely out of the northwest, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So it helps to source some of that slightly cooler air. It also keeps some of those midges around as well. So if you've noticed those swarming around the area the last couple of days, it's because of some of these fronts that we've had pulling in some of that cooler air, but it is relatively warm enough lake waters to kind of get those blooms going out over the lake. So that's why you're seeing a few more of those across our area. By Monday, temperatures are back into the mid 60s. It's a complete difference in what we're going to see tomorrow in terms of a lot more sunshine. Yes, you'll get a couple late day clouds in here, but that sunshine is really going to help warm that temperature mid to upper 60s across the area, even despite having a bit more of a northerly breeze at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's a wider look at your future view, just in case we have some folks that may be traveling or visiting here across Northeast Ohio and you're kind of wanting to get an idea of how this weather pattern may play out. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Everything is pretty quiet. We've got some of those high level clouds starting to drift in, but there's that system that we're tracking off to the west that could potentially give us just a couple of those showers as we go through tomorrow afternoon. You'll notice this is not a widespread rain chance for us. In fact, a lot of us are likely going to stay dry as we go through the day tomorrow, but just with a little bit more of that energy slipping a little closer to us, we can't rule out an isolated rain risk. Once that clears out, high pressure builds back in. That's what gives us all the sunshine through the day on Monday, and it largely keeps most of the Great Lakes region very quiet as we wrap up the holiday weekend, which is good if we've got folks that are going to be traveling to or from Northeast Ohio over the next 24 to about 48 hours. By Tuesday, forecast starts to change a little bit. We bring back a little bit more of that cloud cover, and there's this area of low pressure just to our south that's eventually going to be lifting into our region, and that's what starts to give us a better opportunity of seeing this almost daily opportunity for some showers. So as a result of having some of the rain around and some of that added cloud cover, it is going to keep that temperature down just a little bit more. But I will say this is not going to be a setup that looks like it's a complete washout. I think Wednesday morning into the afternoon brings us the best rain chance on Wednesday before we eventually start to clear things out a little bit, get a little bit more of an isolated opportunity for rain headed into your Thursday, and then you start to get the backside of this system working in on Friday into Saturday, and that is also going to keep a slightly better opportunity for some showers around the area. We'll piece it all together in your 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes.